And welcome back to the channel. On this video I want to talk about e-bikes that go beyond class 3. So what got me thinking about this as a topic for a discussion while I ride was that I'm seeing a lot more faster e-bikes out there, despite all the chatter about crackdowns on speeds. And so I thought we would talk a little bit about that on this video. So as you've probably seen lately, there's been a lot of new bikes coming out that are faster, like 72 volt. Like Wired has both the Warrior and the Scout, and they also have the dual motor Predator. And all of these bikes can go beyond, way beyond class 3 levels, or 28 miles per hour. I mean, most of these bikes can push 50 miles an hour. And then there's a recent bike release called the Magician that goes 50 miles an hour. And it got me thinking a little bit about this, and why are we getting more and more of those? And why are people wanting to buy them? Well, let's first do the part where, why are they available? I think why they're available is manufacturers are taking advantage of gray areas, right? And when I say gray areas, I'm talking, there's nothing stopping companies from manufacturing and selling faster e-bikes. Nobody's put the kibosh on that, so why not, right? And so companies are doing it, and there's a demand for them. So why not? And so the demand, why is there demand for bikes? Who wants bikes that can go, now I'm not going to say 50 miles an hour every bike, but speeds that are beyond class 3, which would be beyond 28 miles per hour. Why do people want bikes that are capable of that? I do. I like bikes that go faster than 28, and I have my reasoning for it. And here's what I think the reasons are, a few of the reasons anyway, that I see why people are doing this. Sometimes it's a case of replacing their car, and maybe they have a longer commute than some of us, and so they want a bike that can go faster to get there faster. And what better than getting an e-bike to do that, right? And you might ask yourself, well, why would they want to just do that instead of a car? Well, it all comes down to money, right? It's cheaper to ride an electric bike than it is to drive a car. You're not paying for, at least as of now, for most of us anyway, you're not having to pay insurance. You're not having to register your bike. You're not having to license. You're not having to do any of that. And your power, in this case electric bike and battery powered, is cheaper to charge it's cheaper to charge the battery than it is to fill your car with gasoline. Gas, depending on what state you're in and where you are, here it's over $4 a gallon, which is expensive. Depending on what size tank you have on your car or truck or your vehicle, you can be paying upwards of $100 for gas to fill your vehicle. And what does it cost? Pennies, less than $1. It's pennies to fill your electric bike. And depending on how far you're riding, you can ride lots of miles on one charge. Of course, there's factors that dictate how far you can go on a charge, but still, it's way cheaper. Nobody would dispute that. The e-bikes also are low maintenance. You don't have to get oil changes. A lot less to go wrong with an e-bike. I mean, the three main components on an e-bike are you've got your battery, which is the big one. That's the most expensive part. You got your motor, and you got your controller that controls the motor and the power to the bike. Some other factors there why people would prefer the e-bike would be why they want a faster e-bike or more powerful. In this case, we're talking about speed, is carrying a bigger load. You might be carrying yourself, you might be a heavier rider, and also the cargo to go with it. You could be, in fact, riding a cargo bike, and so you need that extra speed or power to help you get through wherever you're going, carrying that much weight. The other reason why somebody would want a faster e-bike is the thrill of it. Some people just like to go fast. You know, that's their thing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an e-bike. They're probably fast in everything. Cars, e-bikes, you name it. They're gonna go at faster speeds. They just like the thrill of fast riding or driving. So those are some of the things, and the big one though to me is the cost savings. It's much cheaper to buy and run an e-bike than it is to ride and look after a car. And right now, let's face it, it's a gray area, and I mean, some people might call it the wild, wild west. Well, it is right now. You know, it's kind of a free-for-all. As long as you're not standing out, you know, and doing something wild and crazy that's going to get you pulled over. I think if you're respecting everything and everyone and you're doing it safely, you know, folks are going to do it. They're going to ride faster. Another reason to want to go a little faster too is, or in some cases a lot faster, is where you're riding. You could be out somewhere where there's no bike lanes. The speed limit is, say, let's just use 35 miles an hour as an example. Well, if you're riding on the edge of the road where there's no bike lane, is it safer to ride there on the shoulder or right here with traffic? I think it's safer to ride in with traffic, assuming your bike is capable of doing it and you're okay with doing it. I think it's safer than having a trail of cars behind you and all of them having to go around you. And where it gets especially dangerous to me is when you're climbing a hill. If you're climbing a hill on a bike and a car is going around you, who's coming up over that hill the other direction toward you, in the opposite direction? Nobody knows. And if that car goes out like this to go around you, then if somebody's coming up over that hill, even if, you know, especially if they're coming over at a pretty good speed, that could be a dangerous situation. So those are some of the reasons why I think people like faster the bike. And another one for me is, it's not necessarily the speed, but it's the power. But I think on e-bikes, a lot of times speed and power go hand in hand. If you've got a bike that has more power, it's also probably most likely going to have a faster speed as well. So hill climbing, and I've gone up and down and over with this one, but it's important to have speed / power to climb hills in some areas, and this is one of the areas. If you live anywhere in this area where I am, in the Tigard, Oregon area, King City, we got some pretty good hills here. And I try to avoid them as much as I can, but sometimes you can't. If you want to get to the other side, as they say, you got to do it. So, and there's several bikes out there right now, like I say, that are 72 volt. Now the Onyx had just come out with, it looks like they're not going to have any longer the 72 volt RCR. It looks like they bumped it to 80 volt. And talk about speed. Apparently that bike now goes beyond 70 miles an hour. It has a sport mode that goes 65 plus, and then it's got what they call hyper mode, and the hyper mode apparently goes beyond 70 miles an hour. Can you imagine? That's crazy. I am not looking for any bike that can do that kind of speed. But yeah, check out Onyx new RCR. I think they're taking orders now, and it's going to be August delivery. The pre-order price, I believe, is either $45.99 or $46.99. I think it's $46.99. And then after that, it's going to be $49.99. Still a good price. It's a 45 amp hour battery, 80 volt. It's got some nice upgrades from their previous Onyx RCR. If I wanted a bike for pure speed, I think that one would be right in there. That's, you know, that's definitely one to take a look at if you're into that. Looks like they got wider tires now too. They're 4-inch. They've ditched the spoke wheels as well. It looks like they've got mag. And I like it. I like the new it doesn't look a whole lot different, but I like the upgrades though. Looks like it's got improved seat. The display is different. Kind of looks like Onyx is back. I'd still be a little nervous of pre-ordering, I don't know. But you'll save some money if you do though. So if you want a fast bike that goes crazy speeds, if you want 70 miles an hour, go and check out Onyx, the RCR 80V. It's got some serious speed there. I think for me, if a bike can touch 50 miles an hour, because I'm not even going to really use that speed, just maybe once in a blue moon kind of thing, that's plenty enough for me. I'd like to tune some of the other stuff, like make it a nice suspension on there, a good seat, you know, all good components. kind of fine-tune the bike that way with good solid parts. That's where I would want to go. But let me know if you're a fan of beyond Class 3 bikes. I, for one, am. I know it's we're getting into the gray area, but I still like a bike that has the capability, if needed, to go beyond 28 miles an hour. And there's a lot of them out there now. If you want to stay legal and stay in the 20 to 28 range, that's fine. But for those that want to go faster, you're getting more and more choices of bikes that can do that. That's going to do it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. Just hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified as to when the next video comes up on the channel, just hit that notification bell. And if you want to comment on this or any other videos that you've seen on the channel, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And once again, thank you for joining me on this video. And until next time, be safe everyone, and keep your wheels on the road. See you later.